In this video, we are going to talk about the first of the organic compounds. Specifically, we are going to talk about carbohydrates. Okay, so carbohydrates are the most abundant organic compound that we will see in living things. And carbohydrates are composed, if you remember when we talked about or introduced organic compounds, I told you that organic compounds contain carbon, and you can actually see in the name carbohydrates do contain carbon, and they also contain, when you see the word, let me do a different color, erase that and do a different color. So hydrate, when you see the word hydrate, you should think about water, and those are the chemical elements that make up carbohydrates. So you have carbon, then you have hydrogen, and you have oxygen, and it's in a ratio around or very close to 1 to 2 to 1. So what does that mean? That means that you will have 1 carbon to 2 hydrogens to 2, and put 2 down there, to 2 hydrogens to 1 oxygen. And it may not have that exact chemical formula. So for example, glucose is the simplest carbohydrate, and it has a chemical formula of C6H12O6. So it has the 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. And when we see that, the 2 to 1 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen, that's the chemical formula for water. So that's what we associate with hydrates. Okay, so carbon plus water is basically what it is, and it's in that ratio. But again, the actual chemical formula may be different. So glucose has a chemical formula of C6H12O6. So examples of carbohydrates, and again, these are the most abundant organic compound in living things. So examples are sugars and starches, and we will talk about each of those. They make up about 1.5% of total body weight, and as far as the functioning goes, carbohydrates are important for energy, and that specifically glucose is what our body uses to make ATP, and then ATP can be used to do cellular work. Okay, so the 3 types of carbohydrates that we're going to talk about monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. This table here is a good summary of examples of monosaccharides and polysaccharides and disaccharides, and then their functions, and then just some additional information about them. But we're going to talk about each of those on the following slides. So first, the monosaccharides. So mono means 1, and then when you hear the term saccharide, you should think sugar, and that's what it means, 1 sugar. Okay, and the most important of the monosaccharides is going to be glucose, because that is what our body will use to form energy, to form ATP. Okay, so other examples of monosaccharides, we have fructose, and then we also have galactose that's not shown here. But all of those are important forms of monosaccharides. Okay, so they actually all have the formula C6H12O6. The only difference is that they are structured differently. So you can see over here on the right hand side, the glucose and the fructose molecule, they both have the chemical formula C6H12O6, but they are structured differently. And what the term is that's used for chemical compounds that have the same chemical formula, but they are structured differently, those are isomers of one another. Okay, so glucose is a simple monosaccharide. Fructose is too. Both of them are monosaccharides. Fructose is often referred to as fruit sugar, so we find it in fruits. But our body's not able to use that it has to be in the form of glucose. The monosaccharide has to be in the form of glucose in order for our body to be able to use it. Okay, so here you can see on the top here, you have the monosaccharides glucose, fructose, and galactose. They all have the chemical formula C6H12O6, but they are structured differently. Okay, and these are referred to as hexoses because they're in a hexagon shape. Again, you don't have to worry about that. And then on the bottom, we have pentoses. These are also simple sugars, deoxyribose and ribose, which we will talk about when we get to the nucleic acids because they're part of the nucleic acid structure. They actually have the same chemical structure or same chemical components, but they are structured differently. But again, as far as what you need to know that monosaccharides are simple sugars, one sugar, and examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, and galactose. Okay, isomers, we already talked about isomers. They have the same molecular formula, but different structures. And that the fact that they have different structures, it causes the chemical to, or the compound to act differently, to function differently. Okay. Then the disaccharides. So di means two sugars, and that's what disaccharides are. They are two monosaccharides that are chemically joined to one another. So they have chemical bonds that hook them together. Example of a disaccharide is sucrose. Sucrose is basically table sugar. So you can see in what sucrose is. Sucrose is glucose plus fructose. So you have two of the monosaccharides that are chemically bound to one another through a process called, or a chemical reaction called, dehydration synthesis. And we discussed that earlier. So remember, with dehydration synthesis, dehydration, you're removing a water, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're removing two H's and an O, H2O. That's going away. And then we now have a chemical bond between the glucose and the fructose, and that forms sucrose. And sucrose is table sugar, and it's an example of disaccharides. And then the opposite can occur. So our body can't use sucrose. So if you go and you take sugar, a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee or whatever, your body can't use that sucrose in order to produce energy, to produce ATP. So the sucrose has to be broken down through a process called hydrolysis. So the two H's and the O, water is going to be added, and it's going to break that chemical bond, and now we have fructose and we have glucose, and then glucose can be used by our body to form ATP, which is energy. Okay, so those are the saccharides. So glucose we talked about. Another example of a disaccharide is lactose. Lactose is what we refer to as milk sugar, and it's basically a glucose, a monosaccharide, plus galactose. Galactose, another monosaccharide. And then another example of a disaccharide is maltose. Maltose is what we refer to as malt sugar, okay? And it is two glucose molecules hooked together. So glucose plus glucose. So maltose, it's important in like seeds that are germinating seeds, so seeds that are sprouting. We also see malt sugar in the fermentation process, but it's a disaccharide that's formed from two glucose molecules. Then polysaccharides. Poly means many, so many sugars, and that's exactly what polysaccharides are. They are complex carbohydrates formed from multiple disaccharides and or monosaccharides. Examples are starches, glycogen, and another example is cellulose that's not written out here. Cellulose. We'll talk about each of those. So starches are it's a storage form of carbohydrates in plants. Okay, so think about starchy vegetables like potatoes and corn and things like that. Um, the carbohydrates are stored in those plants, and our body can break that starch down and use it for energy. Use it to break it down to glucose, and then our body can use glucose to form ATP. But starches are polysaccharides, so they're many sugars, many of the monosaccharides or disaccharides put together, and it is a storage form of carbohydrates in plants. Again, used for energy. The function of all of these are energy. Then glycogen. Glycogen is the storage form of carbohydrates in animals. Okay, so like if you go and eat a high calorie meal and you have more glucose floating around in your blood than your body needs for energy at the time, your body's going to store that. Okay, so it'll take that glucose that's floating around. It will form a dehydration synthesis chemical reaction. Okay, and then we'll form glycogen, and glycogen will be stored in the body. It can be stored like in the liver, it can be stored in the muscles, it can be stored in the subcutaneous fat, but glycogen can be stored throughout the body in order to pull energy if it's needed in the future. And cellulose is what we associate with fiber. Okay, it's a polysaccharide found in the cell walls of plants. So fiber, cell walls of plants. And we as humans are not able to break that down, but we do need a certain amount of fiber in our diet. So those are the three types of um, carbohydrates. We have monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides, and give the next slide just to show you an image of the polysaccharides, so you can see each of these little components here would represent a monosaccharide. So you can see that polysaccharides are huge. So there are many, many, many of these monosaccharides and or disaccharides that are hooked together. Okay, we as humans are able to break down starch and glycogen, but we cannot break down fiber. So those are the three examples of polysaccharides. And then we will move on to lipids in the next video.